When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go. This is according to Carol Bonnet. Hello and welcome to the Fifth Estate Show. This is where we talk about development issues and the activities of non-governmental organizations in Nigeria. I am Folusho Oluwole, your host on the show. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, declared an indefinite nationwide strike which started on Monday, June 3, 2024, due to the federal government's refusal to increase the proposed minimum wage above 60,000 naira. Despite the government's final offer of a minimum wage higher than 60,000 naira, which included a recent increase from an initial 57,000, the labor unions found the proposal insufficient, proposing 494,000. Stay tuned as we unravel the minimum wage over the years in Nigeria. Also today on the show, UNICEF trains 330 girls on menstrual hygiene. World Bank Group, IMF partner on climate change. Nigeria orders AFDB stakeholders inject fresh $117 billion as capital hits $318 billion. These and more will be our focus on today's episode of the show. Hadiza Abubakar is standing by and will give us details of the headlines after this short break.
Thank you, Folu. I am Hadiza Abubakar, and here are the reports in details. UNICEF has trained 330 female students across 93 schools in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe State on menstrual hygiene management. In a media event for Menstrual Hygiene Day 2024 in Maiduguri, Ms. Mamita Borataka, UNICEF's WASH manager, highlighted the distribution of 94,000 dignity kits to vulnerable girls and women in insurgency-affected areas. She urged government to prioritize facilities in schools for proper menstrual management, essential for the health and dignity of female students. The World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund are intensifying their efforts to combat climate change with a new cooperative framework. This initiative will support countries' climate strategies through coordinated policy reform and investment. By leveraging their expertise and resources, the World Bank Group and International Monetary Fund aims to identify and address each country's unique climate challenges. In another development, the African Development Bank has received approval for a new general capital increase of $117 billion, raising its total capital to a historic $318 billion. This announcement was made by the African Development Bank President Akweya Adesina during the closing ceremony of the 2024 African Development Bank meeting in Nairobi, Kenya. The bank's Board of Governors, the highest decision-making board, expressed strong support and confidence in the bank's mission to drive Africa's development. Those are the reports and details.
Thank you, Hadiza. Those are some of the reports. In Nigeria, the idea of a minimum wage first appeared in the 1950s. The first wage law was enacted in 1954 by the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who served as the Western Region Premier. The minimum salary paid to workers in Western Nigeria was double that of their counterparts in other regions of the country. The country's first wage regulation established the precedent and started a national conversation about equitable labor compensation. Nigeria's independence in 1960 did not end the campaign for a national minimum wage. Awolowo actively pushed for a £5 minimum salary for government employees in 1959, even after Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa defeated him in the 1959 elections. The question of a national minimum wage continues to be a political debate. The first national minimum wage law was enacted by President Shehu Shagari in September 1981. The law set a minimum wage of 125 naira per month, equivalent to approximately $204 at the time. Over the years, the minimum wage has undergone several revisions, one of which includes an increment to 5,500 naira in the year 2000. Under President Goodluck Jonathan, it was raised to 18,000 naira in 2011. The National Minimum Wage Act, signed by President Muhammadu Buhari, established a new wage of 30,000 naira per month in 2019. In January 2024, the federal government formed a 37-member committee to review the national minimum wage. How has an average Nigerian sustained a decent livelihood, putting into consideration that inflation sits at 26.31%? In a report published in 2015 by Premium Times Nigeria, earnings of 360 members of the House of Representatives got 6.58 billion naira from the National Treasury in annual salaries and allowances, while the 109 senators cost the nation 2.14 billion naira in similar emoluments. Cumulatively, the country shells out a hefty 8.72 billion naira every year in salaries and allowances to lawmakers in the two chambers of the National Assembly. You're still with the Fifth Estate Show. Here are some available grant opportunities that NGOs and individuals can apply to get funds to sustain their activities right after this short break.
In a world filled with impactful stories and transformative experiences, the essence of change is vital. That's where we come in. With over 16 years of experience shooting documentaries, we specialize in productions for local and international non-governmental organizations. Our focus is on showcasing the results and impacts of non-profit intervention on individuals, institutions, and society. We capture the success stories that emerge from these interventions, allowing project management experts to focus on designing projects with the greatest value to the beneficiaries. Our skilled team of filmmakers, storytellers, and technicians serve as a powerful tool, raising awareness, fostering empathy, and mobilizing support for the cause that truly matters. If you are a non-governmental organization looking to amplify your impact through compelling storytelling, let us bring your success story to life, ensuring that the world hear the voices that deserves to be heard.
Connect with us by sending an email to info@isumedia.net.ng for more interesting updates. Follow us on our social media platforms @ISUMedia. ISUMedia, Ocean of Ideas.
With a deadline of 31st August 2024, the Action Contre la Femme has launched the second edition of its grants for a new humanitarian perspective to encourage reflection on the future of humanitarian imagery in order to imagine its future developments together and foster a new perspective. For more information, visit Action Contre la Femme, check for eligibility and apply. Also, with a deadline of 12th July 2024, the United States Agency for International Development is seeking applications for a leader with associate cooperative agreements from qualified entities to implement the Feed the Future Innovation Lab for Climate Resilient Sustainable Intensification. For more information, visit grants.gov, check for more details and apply. And this is where we end this episode of the Fifth Estate Show. Many thanks for staying with us. Don't forget to follow us on all social media handles @ISUMedia. I am Felicia Oluwale, saying goodbye for now and see you on the next edition.